I made a terrible mistake that I can never take back. My husband and I had been struggling to have a child for 6 years, and in a moment of weakness, I cheated. When I found out I was pregnant, I wasn't sure who the father was. So I made a decision that haunts me to this day. Months later, I discovered something shocking. Something that changed everything I thought I knew about my husband. If you think you know how this story ends, think again. Stay with me, because the twist will shock you. And before you judge me, please listen to my story till the end. I made a decision that changed my life forever, and now I don't know what to do. If you were in my shoes, what would you do? I need your honest advice. This is the hardest thing I've ever shared, but I need to get it off my chest. My name is Clara. I'm 30 years old. My story is one of regret, betrayal, and the painful consequences of mistakes that can never be undone. I met Ben, my husband, when I was 22. We met through mutual friends at a college reunion. We quickly fell in love, and it felt like everything was falling into place. We had the same values, the same dreams, and one of those dreams was to have children. We always talked about starting a family and building a life together. 2 years later, we got married. Months after our wedding, we struggled to get pregnant. We tried everything: tracking ovulation, changing diets, taking supplements, but nothing seemed to work. Our friends and family kept asking when we would have kids, and every question made the ache in my heart grow. We were trying so hard, but nothing was happening. At first, it wasn't too hard to cope. I knew getting pregnant could take time. But soon, the frustration grew. Every month felt like a failure. I saw how disappointed Ben was every time I got my period. I saw the longing in his eyes, the hope that we would one day have a child of our own. But after months, then years of disappointment, it started to take a toll on our relationship. It was during this time of deep frustration that I made the biggest mistake of my life. I was vulnerable. Ben and I had been distant, our relationship affected by the pressure of trying to conceive. It felt like every conversation, every moment, was overshadowed by our struggle. One night I went to a party with some old friends. It was supposed to be a fun, lighthearted evening, nothing serious. I never expected anything to happen. But then I met someone from my past. His name is Tom. He was kind. He made me feel special, and for a brief moment, I felt alive again. After too many drinks and a few emotional conversations, I let my guard down. One thing led to another. We ended up in a hotel room together, and I ended up cheating on Ben with him. I never intended for it to happen. I was in a weak place, and it was the worst decision I could have made. I felt guilty right away, but it was too late. The damage was done, and I never thought I'd have to face the consequences. A few weeks after the affair, I found out I was pregnant. At first, I couldn't believe it. The shock hit me hard. There was a problem. I wasn't sure who the father was. Was it Ben, who I had been struggling to conceive with for years? Or was it Tom, who I just met? The uncertainty terrified me. I decided to get an abortion. It wasn't an easy choice, but I thought it was the best option. I didn't want to put Ben through the pain of raising a child that is not his, and I didn't want to raise a child under these circumstances. I convinced myself it was the right thing to do. But months later, I found myself regretting that decision more than anything. This is where my world started falling apart, and I had no idea what was coming next. Keep watching. After the abortion, I couldn't get pregnant again. I tried and tried, but nothing happened. Months passed, and the more I tried, the more I began to wonder if the abortion had damaged my womb and left me unable to conceive. The fear of not being able to have children started to haunt me. Ben, oblivious to my past, was supportive. He comforted me, telling me that we could still have a family, that there were options out there. IVF, surrogacy, adoption. He was willing to explore them all with me. He didn't know the secret I was carrying, the secret that was slowly tearing me apart. I went to several hospitals for tests. I had to face the reality of what I had done. And then, the doctor confirmed my worst fear. My womb had been damaged. I came home broken. My heart was heavy with regret. I threw away my only chance at becoming a mother. If I had kept the pregnancy, I would be a mother by now, regardless of who got me pregnant. I had made the biggest mistake of my life. One night, I called my mother to confide in her. I couldn't carry this burden alone anymore. I told her everything, about the affair, the abortion, and how much I regretted it. I didn't know that Ben had come home early and was standing by the door, listening to every word. When I turned around, there he was, standing in the doorway. His face was a mixture of shock, disappointment, and anger. He didn't say anything at first, but when he finally spoke, his words hit me like a ton of bricks. "Why didn't you just tell me the truth, Clara?" he asked. "Why did you abort the baby? Why didn't you just pin the pregnancy on me like other women do? A child I would have raised as my own, no matter whose it was." I was speechless. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "What do you mean?" I asked him. Ben continued. "You won't understand. You threw away the only chance we had, and now we're here, struggling." He said he'd forgive me, but I could tell he was hurt, deeply hurt. I begged him for forgiveness, and after a long silence, he reluctantly said he forgave me. But in my heart, I knew I had lost something that could never be replaced. I thought my nightmare was over, but I was so wrong. What I discovered next left me speechless. Months later, while cleaning the house, I stumbled upon a piece of paper. It was Ben's fertility test results. I stared at the paper in disbelief. The test confirmed my worst nightmare. Ben was infertile. He had been hiding it from me this whole time. I confronted him immediately. He didn't deny it. Instead, he admitted everything. He told me that he became infertile after years of using local Viagra to boost his sexual performance. He never told me, and he didn't want me to know. I was crushed. I couldn't believe it. Ben had kept this from me, and now I had no chance at having children, because of an abortion I thought was the only way out. "I should have known," I said through tears. "If you had told me, I wouldn't have aborted the pregnancy. I would have kept the baby, and maybe, just maybe, I'd be a mother by now." Ben didn't show any remorse. In fact, he interrupted me, saying something that left me speechless. "You deserved what happened to you. If you didn't cheat, we wouldn't be in this situation. You made the decision to cheat, to get pregnant, and to abort. If you hadn't done that, I would have been a father by now." He continued, "Now we're both in the same boat. You're infertile, just like me. We both have to live with our mistakes. So, maybe it's time to move on and adopt a child. But if you leave me, no man will want you. No man will want a woman who can't have children and who cheated." His words cut through me like a knife. I'm stuck in a terrible place. Ben has forgiven me for my affair. But how can I forgive him for keeping this from me? How can I forgive him for causing this pain? I don't know what to do. I love Ben, but I can't shake the feeling that he's not the man I thought he was. I feel trapped. I don't know if I can move on from all the lies, the betrayal, and the pain. But at the same time, I'm afraid of what my life would be without him. Can a relationship survive when both partners have hidden the truth from each other? Now that you've heard my story, I need to know, what would you do if you were in my place? Would you forgive him? Would you stay? Or would you walk away? Please, leave your honest thoughts in the comments. I'm reading every single comment because I truly need advice. Don't just watch. Tell me what you think. I appreciate every opinion, even if it's hard to hear.